You know that moment you wake up and your body already feels tired? Not just sleepy, but drained. You grab your morning coffee, hoping for a lift, but it barely nudges the fog. Your joints ache, your mood is low, and there's a stubborn weight around your belly that no amount of walking seems to fix. You wonder, quietly, is this just aging? But what if it's not? What if something else is silently pulling you down? Something you never thought to question? Sugar, especially hidden sugars, could be the real culprit. After age 60, your body becomes more sensitive to imbalances. The good news? Just 14 days without added sugar can begin to shift everything. Your energy, your clarity, your mood. It's not magic, it's chemistry, and your body is waiting to come back online. Sugar isn't only in desserts. It's hiding in your granola, your low-fat yogurt, even that slice of whole grain bread. Each day, small doses add up, and your body pays the price. Over time, cells become resistant to insulin, a condition called insulin resistance. It's the hidden hand behind belly fat, poor sleep, brain fog, and that drained feeling no supplement can fix. When your cells stop responding to insulin, they can't use glucose efficiently. Your body stores more fat and absorbs fewer nutrients. But here's the beauty. This is reversible. Within days of cutting sugar, your cells start to respond again. Energy returns, cravings ease, blood sugar stabilizes. It's like rebooting your internal system. Many who try it are shocked, not by what they gave up, but by what they got back. Take Linda, a 68-year-old from Michigan. She wasn't obese, but felt exhausted by mid-morning. Her doctor said, "It's normal for your age." But Linda didn't feel like settling. She tried a simple challenge: 14 days with 0 added sugar. No fruit juice, no crackers, no flavored yogurts. "I thought it'd be awful," she told us, "but by day 5, I didn't need a nap. I wasn't angry in the afternoons. I was just calmer." Linda didn't change her exercise. She didn't add supplements. She just removed the constant sugar drip that had dulled her body for years. And what came back? Energy, joy, even curiosity. "I feel like someone gave me back my batteries," she laughed, all from removing something she never thought was harming her. People think quitting sugar means pain, but it's not about deprivation. It's about restoration. Yes, the first few days might bring headaches or cravings. That's normal. Sugar impacts dopamine, the brain's reward chemical, so withdrawal feels emotional. But give it time. Soon, sleep deepens. Joints ache less. Your stomach stops bloating. The afternoon crash? Gone. And something else returns. Mental clarity. You're not just less tired. You think faster, remember more, even feel lighter emotionally. One woman told us, "I didn't know I was foggy until the fog lifted." That's what sugar hides, the real you. And when you step away, your body doesn't punish you. It thanks you. Imagine waking up on day 14. You slept through the night. Your face looks less puffy. You laugh more easily. Your pants fit better. But most of all, you feel proud. Not because you followed a diet, but because you finally feel in sync with your body again. You didn't need a new supplement or strict plan. You just gave your body space to heal. And in return, it showed you that change is still possible. Even after 60, especially after 60. This isn't about youth, it's about vitality. You might not rewind the clock, but you can absolutely turn the lights back on. So, where do you go from here? Start small. Take a selfie. Cut added sugars for just 2 weeks. Watch what happens, not just on the scale, but in your mood, your clarity, your strength. This is more than a reset. It's your body speaking again. And in the next video, you'll learn exactly what sugar has been doing inside, wearing down your organs, and how your body begins healing the moment sugar steps aside. Imagine your body as a well-tuned orchestra. Every organ, every system. But what happens when one instrument, the fuel you feed it, starts hitting all the wrong notes? That's sugar. We often see sugar as a treat, a small indulgence. But inside, it acts more like noise. It inflames your liver, stresses your kidneys, clogs your arteries, and clouds your brain. These aren't just metaphors. People over 60 often experience swelling, memory fog, disturbed sleep, and fatigue, and assume it's just aging. But in reality, these are symptoms of organs under constant strain. The 14-day sugar-free reset isn't just about cutting calories. It's about giving your internal systems silence, peace, a break. And the moment you do, those organs, long silenced, begin to play beautifully again. It's not too late to hear the music of health returning. Let's start with the liver. This organ is your body's internal laboratory, processing toxins, regulating blood sugar, managing energy storage. But sugar, especially in excess, overwhelms it. Fructose is the biggest offender. Unlike glucose, which fuels muscles, fructose is processed solely by the liver. And when intake is high, it converts to fat right inside the liver itself. This creates a condition called non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. You don't need alcohol to harm your liver. You just need years of hidden sugar. This buildup leads to fatigue, stubborn belly fat, and poor digestion. But when you remove sugar, your liver begins to shed fat, improve bile flow, and reset enzyme balance. Many people notice they feel lighter. Even if they haven't lost a pound, their digestion improves. Their energy stops crashing. That's not a diet win, it's cellular relief. Now picture your kidneys. They're your blood's filtration system working 24/7 to remove waste and excess fluid. But sugar thickens the blood, increasing its pressure, and forces the kidneys to work harder. This strain can show up as swollen ankles, bloating, or frequent nighttime bathroom trips. Over time, it even raises your risk of chronic kidney disease. But here's the flip side. Remove sugar and the pressure eases. Kidneys can filter more efficiently. You might wake with less puffiness in your hands or face. Your blood pressure may drop gently. You may sleep through the night. Even arteries begin to relax. Sugar causes inflammation in the inner lining of blood vessels, increasing stiffness and plaque buildup. When sugar is removed, circulation improves. Blood vessels soften, and warmth returns to hands and feet. It's your body saying thank you. And your brain? It's one of sugar's most sensitive victims. You felt it before. The spike of energy after a cookie, followed by the fog. Sugar hijacks the brain's reward system, pushing dopamine up, then crashing it. This leads to fatigue, mood swings, and forgetfulness. Over years, this roller coaster dulls cognitive clarity. But go sugar-free, and the effects are almost shocking. Many report they can think again. They finish thoughts. They remember names. They don't feel lost mid-sentence. Sugar-free doesn't just improve mood, it unlocks focus. And let's not forget your eyes. The delicate vessels in your retina suffer under high sugar, which is why vision can blur, especially after meals. But with blood sugar stable, these vessels relax. People describe colors looking sharper or feeling more alert while driving at night. That's not coincidence. It's your eyes finally breathing. All of these changes happen quietly, internally, but they matter. They add up. Within 2 weeks of cutting sugar, you may not see huge weight loss, but you might feel less inflamed, less heavy, less trapped in a body that seems to have betrayed you. That body? It's not broken, it's overloaded. And when you stop feeding it chaos, it starts remembering what it was built for: resilience. Take Tom, 72, from Colorado. He emailed us after 14 days saying, "I didn't realize how foggy I was until it lifted. Now I feel like my body's on my side again." His story isn't rare. It's what happens when the music of your body is no longer drowned by sugar's noise. And the best part? This is just the beginning. You've skipped desserts, replaced white bread with quinoa, and kept step counts higher than your grandkids. Yet, that belly fat won't leave. It clings like a shadow, immune to willpower and walking trails. And worst of all, you blame yourself. Maybe I'm too old. Maybe my metabolism's just broken. But what if I told you that fat isn't your fault? That stubborn bulge isn't laziness. It's a metabolic signal, a red flag from the one organ most ignored in weight loss: your liver. After 60, your body runs differently. The old rules, eat less, move more, don't work the same, because belly fat that won't budge is rarely about overeating. It's about how your liver handles sugar. Once the liver gets overwhelmed, the whole system shifts. Fat begins to stay, not because you failed, but because no one told you the truth. The truth is, sugar is a liver problem first, especially fructose, the kind found in table sugar, fruit juice, processed snacks. Unlike glucose, which muscles can burn, fructose can only be processed by the liver. And when it arrives in large, frequent doses, the liver gets backed up. It turns sugar into fat. Some of that fat stays trapped inside the liver, creating a condition called fatty liver disease. But much of it gets pushed out to your belly. That's the visceral fat you can't pinch, but it builds pressure from the inside. It wraps around organs and resists dieting. That's why belly fat feels so stubborn, because it is. It's not surface fat, it's storage fat, orchestrated by a stressed-out liver. So unless you calm the liver, nothing else works. Exercise alone can't undo it. And here's where the trap tightens once your liver starts producing fat. Insulin resistance follows. Insulin's job is to shuttle sugar from your blood into your cells. But when liver fat rises, your body stops listening to insulin. So it pumps out more. More insulin equals more fat storage, especially around the belly. It becomes a cycle. Sugar leads to liver fat. Liver fat leads to insulin resistance. Insulin resistance locks in more belly fat. You try to eat better, but the fat doesn't move because your hormones are stuck in store mode. The key isn't cutting more calories. It's cutting the cycle at its root. And that root is sugar. Not just sweets, but healthy sugars in juice, cereal, yogurt. The ones marketed as clean, but metabolized as chaos. Consider Mark, 71. He walked 2 miles a day, avoided fast food, even swapped rice for cauliflower. Still, his belly wouldn't change. Then he learned about liver overload. He removed sugar, not just desserts, but juice, granola bars, low-fat snacks. Within 10 days, his waistband loosened. More importantly, he felt sharper, less foggy. It wasn't magic, he said, just chemistry working right again. That's the power of restoring your liver. Your body doesn't need to be pushed harder. The liver wasn't designed for constant sugar, but modern diets flood it daily. Mark didn't lose belly fat from starving. He lost it by unburdening his liver. And that's what many over 60 need. Not punishment, but peace. Sugar hides in plain sight, especially for seniors who trust labels like low-fat or heart-healthy. Yogurt, salad dressings, protein bars, they sneak in sugar under names like cane juice or maltodextrin. Your taste buds may not catch it, but your liver always does. Each hidden hit adds to the load, and your belly pays the price. That's why the sugar liver trap is so tricky. It's not just donuts or soda. It's the good foods that keep you stuck. Breaking free means reading labels differently, swapping sweetened snacks for whole foods, giving your liver days, not decades. Within weeks, the fog lifts, not just mentally, but physically. Your belly softens. Clothes fit differently. You don't feel smaller, you feel freer. Most people think fat is a character flaw, that if you still carry a belly at 70, you've somehow failed. But that's a lie. Belly fat after 60 is often just a sign of a tired liver and confused insulin signals. It's biology, not failure. You've been misled, and the shame stops now. The solution isn't a boot camp or starvation plan. It's a quiet reversal. You remove what's causing chaos, sugar, and let the liver heal. From there, the body does what it's designed to do. It burns. It balances. It breathes. That's why so many who try a sugar-free reset don't just lose inches. They regain energy. Memory sharpens. Sleep improves. Because fat loss isn't the only goal. It's just the most visible sign of deeper healing. So if your belly fat feels permanent, it's not. It's a signal, not a sentence. The sugar liver trap is real, but reversible. The moment you give your liver a break, everything changes. You don't have to be perfect, just consistent. Every sugar-free day is a vote for clarity, for metabolism, for peace. You've spent decades caring for others. This is your turn. And it starts not with guilt, but knowledge. In the next video, we'll show how sugar doesn't just shape your belly, it clouds your brain. If you felt foggy, anxious, or forgetful, the root may surprise you. Let's clear it. One bite, one choice at a time. You forget where you place the keys. You enter a room and can't recall why. Words you once grabbed with ease now dance just out of reach. It's easy to blame age. This is just what getting older feels like. You tell yourself, but deep down it feels wrong. You're not supposed to feel this cloudy. Not this soon. What if the real issue isn't memory, but inflammation? Specifically, brain inflammation fueled by sugar. This might sound strange, but science backs it up. When sugar disrupts your metabolism, it doesn't just affect your belly or blood sugar. It reaches your brain. That fog, the low energy, the irritability, it may all trace back to a quiet fire in your head, lit by years of hidden sugars you didn't know were there. Let's break it down. Your brain is protected by the blood-brain barrier, a shield meant to keep harmful substances out. But when your body is overloaded with sugar, especially over years, it triggers inflammation throughout your system. This systemic inflammation weakens that barrier. Once compromised, inflammatory molecules and even excess insulin can seep into the brain. And that's where things start to go haywire. Areas like the hippocampus, responsible for memory, get inflamed. Neurons slow down. Communication between brain cells weakens. You don't get dementia overnight, but you do start to feel off. Forgetful, frustrated, emotional, and no one tells you it might be food, not fate, causing it. That's the sugar brain trap. Slow, sneaky, and often mistaken for aging. One of the most damaging sugar-related culprits is insulin resistance. When your body constantly processes excess sugar, It becomes less sensitive to insulin. This doesn't just lead to belly fat or diabetes. It affects your brain's fuel system. Your brain relies on glucose, but it needs insulin to help absorb it. When insulin stops working effectively, the brain starves. That's why you feel tired even after sleeping. Why your focus scatters. It's not that your brain lacks energy, it can't use it. Imagine your brain cells gasping for fuel while sugar floods your blood. That mismatch creates mental fatigue, forgetfulness, and mood swings. It's why many people say, "I just don't feel like myself anymore." But this isn't permanent. It's biochemical and fixable. Take Margaret, 67, a retired teacher. She loved books, puzzles, and word games. But lately, she found herself struggling to focus. Reading felt like a chore. Names escaped her. Her doctor called it natural decline. But she wasn't ready to accept that. She cut added sugars for 2 weeks. No juice, no pastries, no flavored yogurts. By day 8, her mind felt sharper. It was like a fog lifted, she said. No medication. No brain training apps, just less sugar. Her story isn't rare. More and more studies show that reducing sugar improves mental clarity. Even in seniors, the brain, like the body, responds to relief. Margaret didn't reverse time. She removed what was weighing her mind down. Brain inflammation doesn't look like a fever or rash. It shows up as forgetfulness, impatience, low drive. But under a microscope, inflamed brain cells are visible. Sugar increases levels of cytokines, molecules that inflame tissue. It also disrupts the production of BDNF, a protein your brain uses to form new memories. Less BDNF equals more cognitive decline. That's why a sugar-laden breakfast can make you foggy by noon. Your brain is trying to work through the clutter, and the older we get, the slower it clears. But here's the silver lining. The brain heals faster than we think. Inflammation goes down quickly once sugar intake drops. Within days, clarity returns. Not because you're trying harder, but because your brain can finally breathe. It's important to realize that mood is also tied to sugar. Have you noticed you feel more anxious, more reactive, more tired in the afternoon? That's not just getting old. It's your brain responding to a roller coaster of blood sugar and inflammation. Sugar spikes, then crashes, and your mood rides along. Seniors often report feeling down or short-tempered, and it's blamed on loneliness or age. But often, it's diet. Studies show a direct link between sugar intake and depression risk, especially in older adults. When your brain is inflamed, emotions lose balance. You might cry more easily, snap faster, or retreat quietly. But when inflammation fades, you return to yourself, steadier, calmer, more in control. And it starts with breakfast, not therapy. So if you felt off lately, mentally, emotionally, even spiritually, don't rush to blame your age. Start with your plate. Sugar doesn't just sweeten your food, it steals your clarity. The good news? You can reverse it. Not with extreme diets, but with consistent choices. Each sugar-free day gives your brain room to repair. Each balanced meal feeds mental resilience. In the next video, we'll explore how certain foods don't just harm your brain, they hijack your hunger. If you've ever felt constantly craving or never full, the next step will reveal why. If this resonates, subscribe to Graceful Health Life. You just finished lunch. Protein, veggies, maybe a little rice. Yet an hour later, your stomach whispers again. You're not starving, but something feels... a craving, a nibble, something sweet, and it's not just you. Many people over 60 describe the same pattern, eating full meals, yet still feeling unsatisfied. It's frustrating, even embarrassing. You wonder, do I have no self-control? But the truth is, it's not a failure of willpower. It's chemistry. Sugar doesn't just taste good. It tricks your brain and body into thinking you're still hungry, even when you're not. And that artificial hunger, over time, leads to weight gain, fatigue, and the cycle of guilt. The culprit isn't just sugar. It's what sugar does to your hunger hormones. When you eat real food, your body releases leptin, a hormone that tells your brain you're full. But sugar interferes with leptin signals. Instead of feeling satisfied, your brain still thinks it's in a calorie deficit. It keeps asking for more, even if your stomach is physically full. This is why so many seniors feel like they're never full. Not because they're overeating, but because their fullness signals have been hijacked. Sugar causes insulin spikes, which crash blood sugar later, triggering hunger all over again. It's not overeating, it's miscommunication between your gut and your brain. It gets more complicated with dopamine. Dopamine is your brain's reward chemical. When you eat sugar, dopamine spikes fast and high, just like it does with certain drugs. This gives a rush, a hit of pleasure, but then, just as quickly, it crashes. And when it crashes, you crave again, not for fuel, but for the feeling. Over time, the brain becomes less responsive. You need more sugar to get the same reward. This is how cravings become habits, and habits become traps. You're not addicted in a moral sense, but your biochemistry is caught in a loop. That's why you find yourself walking to the pantry without even thinking. It's not greed, it's your brain looking for balance. Meet Linda, 66. Every afternoon around 3 p.m., she reached for something sweet. Tea biscuits, a granola bar, maybe a little chocolate. She told herself it was just a break. But over time, she noticed it wasn't about taste. It felt automatic, she said. Even after lunch, even when not hungry, she'd crave. Her doctor mentioned blood sugar swings. She experimented, replaced her snack with a boiled egg and nuts. Within 3 days, her cravings dropped. She wasn't denying herself, she was stabilizing herself. And that's the insight many miss. It's not about avoiding pleasure. It's about avoiding the crash that steals your energy and makes you hungry for the wrong things. Another hidden player, your gut microbiome. That colony of bacteria in your intestines doesn't just help digest food. It influences cravings. Diets high in sugar shift your gut bacteria toward sugar-loving strains. These strains send signals to your brain asking for more sugar. That's right, your gut bugs can crave, and when they overgrow, they drown out the signals from healthier bacteria. The result? A body that keeps demanding sugar, not because it needs it, but because its inner ecosystem is out of balance. When people cut sugar and increase fiber, gut diversity returns. Hunger quiets. Not because you're full, but because your body stops yelling. So how do you break free? Not with starvation, not with shame, but with nourishment that doesn't trick your body. Meals rich in protein, fat, and fiber slow digestion and keep blood sugar stable. Drinking water before snacks can test if hunger is real or just a craving. And when cravings do hit, ask not "What's wrong with me?" but "What's my body asking for?" Often, it's rest, a walk, a hug. Sugar gives quick comfort, but leaves an empty echo. Real comfort comes from stability, and that stability starts on your plate. Not in a candy wrapper, Cravings aren't weakness, they're misdirected needs, and you can redirect them with kindness. If you felt trapped in hunger that won't stop, you're not broken. You're responding perfectly to a system designed to survive. Sugar hijacks that system, but knowledge gives it back. The next time your cravings whisper, breathe. Choose something that feeds you, not just fills you. And if this message resonates, subscribe to Graceful Health Life, because next, we're unpacking the 3 food myths that silently sabotage senior health. And you deserve to know them. Your hunger is not the enemy. It's your body's voice. Let's help it speak clearly again. You've tried to eat right. You swapped butter for margarine. You picked low-fat yogurt. You stopped red meat and loaded your plate with whole grains. You followed the advice printed in magazines and passed down by doctors decades ago. But something still feels off. You're more tired, your blood sugar's creeping up, the weight won't budge. That's because some of the most common food tips for seniors are based on outdated science. Or worse, food industry marketing. These myths sound healthy, even logical, but inside the body, especially after 60, they backfire. Let's clear up 3 of the biggest ones and show you what to eat instead for energy, balance, and healing. Myth number 1. Low-fat foods are better for your heart. For years, fat was blamed for heart disease, so we cut it. But when fat goes down, something else goes up: sugar. Most low-fat foods add sugar to maintain taste. Yogurts, dressings, even whole wheat bread. And that sugar increases triglycerides, fuels liver fat, and spikes insulin, all of which hurt your heart more than fat ever did. Your body, especially your brain and hormones, needs fat to function. Seniors who eat enough healthy fats like olive oil, eggs, and fatty fish have better cognition, stable moods, and steadier energy. It's not about eating greasy fried food. It's about replacing processed carbs with real, nourishing fats your body knows how to use. Myth number 2. Whole grains are always healthy. Whole grains sound wholesome, and for some people, they are. But many seniors face hidden insulin resistance. Their bodies struggle to process even complex carbs. Brown rice, oats, whole wheat toast, all can still spike blood sugar more than expected. If you feel sleepy after meals or get hungry soon after eating grains, your body might be telling you it needs a reset. Fiber is essential, but vegetables and seeds offer plenty. Replacing grains with roasted veggies or cauliflower rice can calm inflammation and improve blood sugar. It's not about banning grains forever. It's about listening to your body's real signals, not just nutrition labels. Myth number 3. Protein isn't that important after 60. Many seniors eat less protein, thinking it's only for bodybuilders. But protein is critical for muscle maintenance, immune strength, and even brain function. As we age, we lose muscle faster. That leads to weakness, falls, and slower recovery. Without enough protein, you may also feel more anxious or foggy because amino acids feed neurotransmitters. And here's the surprise. Seniors actually need more protein than younger adults. Eggs, fish, lentils, and even high-quality protein shakes can help. Start with breakfast. A protein-rich morning sets the tone for stable blood sugar and fewer cravings all day. You don't need huge portions, just consistent ones. Take George, 74. He avoided red meat, ate cereal with skim milk, and had toast for lunch. But he felt tired all the time. His doctor said his protein intake was low and his triglycerides were high. Despite eating healthy, with a few swaps, adding eggs, olive oil, And cutting his daily toast, George saw big changes. More energy, better sleep. His joints stopped aching as much. "I thought I was doing the right thing," he said. "Turns out I was just doing what I was told back in the 80s. His story isn't rare. Many seniors are stuck following rules that no longer serve them, or were never right in the first place. Food should heal, not confuse. But when myths get repeated enough, they become truth in people's minds. And for seniors, that misinformation can quietly erode health. Low-fat foods that spike sugar, grains that strain the liver, a lack of protein that weakens the muscles. It adds up slowly until you're left wondering why nothing works anymore. But it's not too late. In fact, the older body often responds faster because it's grateful. Grateful for relief, for real food, for clarity. When you unlearn the myths, you make space for real nourishment. And that shift brings not just weight changes, but peace of mind. So, how do you move forward? Start with one change. Add olive oil back to your salad. Swap morning toast for a veggie omelet. Read labels with sharper eyes. And most of all, question what you've been told, especially if it doesn't feel right in your body. Nutrition isn't just science, it's personal. Your body speaks, even in silence. And keep listening, because sometimes the smallest changes bring the biggest returns. You've done your best, you read the labels, followed your doctor's advice, and picked the foods that were marked healthy. Low-fat yogurt, whole wheat toast, granola, fruit juice, even protein bars. But despite your best intentions, you still feel sluggish, you still get hungry too soon, and your labs aren't improving. That's not your fault. It's the fault of food marketing and outdated nutrition advice. Some of the most common healthy foods for seniors are quietly wreaking havoc on your blood sugar and energy. Let's walk through 5 of the worst offenders and what you can enjoy instead. 1. Fruit juice. Orange juice with breakfast sounds like wellness. But even 100% juice is a sugar bomb. Without fiber to slow absorption, juice floods the bloodstream with fructose, spiking blood sugar fast, then dropping it hard. For seniors, these swings lead to fatigue, irritability, and more cravings. A piece of whole fruit and water or herbal tea. You'll get nutrients and fiber, minus the crash. If you miss the ritual, infuse water with slices of citrus or berries. It's the feeling of refreshment, not the sugar hit that your body really wants. 2. Low-fat fruit yogurt. Well, that sounds like a light snack. But most low-fat yogurts are pumped with sugar to replace the flavor lost with fat. Some have more sugar than a cookie, and they rarely keep you full. That sugar goes straight to the bloodstream, causing a spike, then a dip. Plain Greek yogurt with cinnamon or a few berries. You'll get protein, gut-friendly probiotics, and real satisfaction. Fat isn't the enemy. It's part of what helps you feel full and steady. And your brain, especially after 60, thrives on healthy fats more than ever. Granola. Often seen as a health food, granola is usually baked with syrup, honey, or sugar and served in portions far too big. One bowl can have more sugar than a slice of cake. Even the oats, though whole, are often processed and high glycemic. A small bowl of nuts, seeds, and coconut flakes. Or a chia pudding. The crunch and texture can be just as satisfying, but with protein and healthy fats to support stable energy. Granola isn't evil, but it's not innocent either, especially if your blood sugar is already riding a roller coaster. 4. Whole wheat toast. It seems like a healthy base, especially compared to white bread. But many whole wheat breads are still highly processed and contain added sugars or fillers. They spike blood sugar and leave you hungry again in hours. For seniors managing insulin resistance, this is a daily trap. Swap it for eggs with greens, a protein smoothie, or even a veggie-stuffed wrap. Mornings set the tone, and starting with protein, not refined grain, makes your whole day smoother. You don't have to ditch bread forever, but know when it's helping versus when it's holding you back. 5. Protein bars. They're marketed as smart, portable fuel, but most are glorified candy bars in disguise, filled with sugar alcohols, cheap oils, and synthetic fiber. Your body doesn't recognize half the ingredients, and your blood sugar can spike anyway. For older adults, that means fatigue, cravings, and even digestive distress. Swap it for boiled eggs, almonds, or a homemade energy bite with real ingredients. Simpler is better, especially when your body's metabolism is shifting with age. Don't let a shiny label fool you. If it's ultra-processed, it's rarely on your side. Take Irene, 69. She'd switched to granola and low-fat yogurt for breakfast, with fruit juice, just a splash. But she was still tired by 10 a.m. and always hungry by 11. Her doctor adjusted medications, but nothing helped. A friend suggested switching to eggs, avocado, and a bit of fruit. Within a week, her energy evened out. "I didn't realize I was feeding the crash," she said. That's the hidden truth. Some foods drain more than they give. Especially for seniors, choosing less processed, more stable options makes a bigger difference than you might think. These past pages pulled back the curtain on food myths, hidden sugars, and the surprising ways healthy foods can drain seniors' energy. You've learned that real nourishment isn't always where the label says. If even one idea helped you feel more clear or confident, subscribe to Graceful Health Life. We've only just begun uncovering the gentle truths that help older bodies thrive. The next step on your path to vitality is waiting.